Then they even ask you what is something which you're weak at.
which I didn't receive any single interview.
They just had a opening of one slot.
Sarthi has been very helpful in my journey.
It's pretty interesting. Actually, before receiving my first interview invite, 4 hours before I received it,
So the key here is consistency. Don't lose hopes.
So just do the homework.
I guess it's very subjective, and so it's a double-edged knife. If you are looking for good programs, they're also looking for you.
just consolidate your updates and write one email at a time.
So I didn't spend time studying about reading every program.
Welcome everyone. This is another webinar from the USMLE Sarthi team. My name is Pawan, and today you will hear from several of our match students. We are going to be talking about interview timelines. So this webinar is geared mostly towards applicants who have applied in this current season, may have interviews, may are waiting for interviews. So we'll talk about when can you expect interviews, what are the things you can do between now and between the rank order list, and obviously in addition to chasing for the interviews, how do you prepare for the interviews, what are the other things you can do in the season. By way of housekeeping, obviously you can chat, as you can see. If you have questions, I will try to take questions as well and answer your any pressing questions. So that's where we are now in terms of our former students who've matched. So I have Dr. Satyajit and Dr. Arundhati Sawant at this point, but others will join in. Okay, before we get started, just put in the chat box if you are waiting for the interviews, or if you have the interviews, you can say, I already have interviews. If you're waiting, just say waiting, so that we get a sense of where students are in terms of their. Okay, so I can see a lot of you are waiting, but several have as well. Okay, all right. So let's kick it off. Let's talk about interview timeline. So interview timeline, how this works and all of that, right? So if you will, many of you may have realized, but otherwise residency interviews generally are divided into 3 waves or 3 phases. So right now we are in the first phase. So obviously 24 September was when the applications were available to the program. So between that time, 25th September, and I would say till end of November, or to be more precise, just before Thanksgiving, that is the first wave of the interview. So this is where you start with, and how they get the interviews is also based on some criteria. So the first wave, you start with applicants with good credentials. So good credentials means good scores for that specialty, relevant research, maybe a relevant USCE as well. So the programs, as you know, apply filters and then shortlist these applicants. It does not mean that you will not receive interview if you have not received it during this phase. But primarily, this is how they go. High scores, USC research, recent YOGs, students who don't need visa, so on and so forth. And then comes the second wave. So the second wave generally will start after Thanksgiving. So we are talking early December and then January. Now, in the first wave, the programs have already filtered out those applicants who they want to interview. So they obviously have started the interview process as well. And second wave is where, while the programs have a rough idea of who they would want to interview, there are still issues. They may not be getting the right type of applicants during the interview as they assess, or they may have other things, their cancellations. Many students, for example, will accept pre-match offers. So those spots become vacant. Now, The other thing which many of you may not realize is pre-COVID, all the interviews were on site. And now in this season, and probably in the previous season also, on site interviews have also started in addition to the virtual interview. But sometimes people do cancel on site because it involves travel, there may be international or there may be financial issues. So the second wave does bring you interviews, and this is December and January, and then you get into the third wave. So third wave, what happens in the third wave is a lot of new programs. Like I said, maybe cancellations happen, maybe programs also, like students, they get desperate if you're not seeing the quality of applicant you want. So this is the third phase. So new programs, cancellation interviews, and other criteria that the programs may have. So this third wave actually incidentally goes on till before the rank order list deadline. So that's how mostly the interviews are structured. And of course, each specialty does have their pre-match program. So like in internal medicine, family medicine, and all of that. So pre-match program, we will have a separate, I can talk about pre-match programs here, but if students accept pre-match, then they obviously release spots for other applicants. Now, what are the changes, what we have seen over the years, especially after COVID? A lot of virtual interviews, IMGs don't tend to cancel. So people may have 15 interviews, 20 interviews, and they don't cancel. So it works both ways. What happens is if you start getting interviews, you will get a lot of interviews. And sometimes, if you are stuck, you may be stuck at 2 or 3. So that's at a high level, that's where how the interview season generally pans out. And I will talk about the strategies or what to do if you are in a situation where you do not have the interviews, okay, or there are fewer number of interviews. But let me take this opportunity to introduce our first speaker, Dr. Satyajit. Dr. Satyajit Singh was a former Sarthi student and is now in his residency. So Satyajit, welcome. And why don't you introduce yourself and give us some tips?
Thank you so much, Dr. Pawan. Good morning, everyone. So I'm Satyajit. I am from India. I'm from Mumbai. And I'm currently doing my residency in internal medicine at Lakeland Regional Health in Florida. So yeah, I was an IMG, got a lot of help from USMLE Sarthi, Mr. Pawan. Shaila is amazing. Like I had times, I would just ask, I need to get a rotation done. Within 10 to 15 minutes, she would just reply back and get things done. So yeah, but yeah, been very helpful. Sarthi has been very helpful in my journey. So, yeah.
So talk a bit about your, when you were in this application season, what was your understanding of the timeline? And then of course, any tips that you may have on how students can approach this season?
So usually that's all, in the first wave is when you get the interviews, because IM, family medicine, pediatrics, these are high volume branches. So that's when I think so by September and October is when you get the interviews. I got most of my interviews in this 2 months. And so that's when you're going to get majority of your interviews. After that, I did get some interviews in December and January also, but I think so those are more like, they are not very serious about you. That's what I felt, because maybe they had some cancellations, they didn't get the candidates they wanted. That's why they send you interviews. But majority is what you're going to get in this 2 months. And that's when I got my interviews.
Okay. And in terms of, your preparation during the season, how did you approach, whether it was preparing for the interviews or following up with the programs? What was your strategy?
So what I was doing, see, there are many programs, and as IMGs, we don't know about the programs. So I didn't spend time studying about reading every program. But once I got an interview from a place, I would read everything about them. I would go on their website, and I'm interested in cardiology. So I would go on the website and see if they have something going on in cardiology, if they have some research going on, or if they have a faculty in cardio. And I would try to talk about that during my interview, because that shows that you're interested about the place, you've done your homework. They like that because you've got the interview, they like you, you have the score, you have the CV, they like you. Now they just want to see how eager you are to work with them. Are you someone they could work with? So I will say, if you get an interview from XYZ place, please go on the website, read about them, try to get all research about them, like what they are doing and everything. If they have an Instagram page, try finding that page on Facebook, Instagram. Don't reach out to them. I never did that. I don't think so. You should reach out to the residents or something, because even they can't help you, and it's more irritating, I feel, because they have their own life, they have their own things to worry about. I don't think so anyone can help you in that way. You got the interview, don't bug them, just prepare well and then do well in the interview. But I don't think so you need to reach out to them. But yeah, do your homework. They like it, when you know small details about it. If it might be anything, like they may have a new library, and you can just say, oh, I read about this, you have just started a new library. They like it because, oh, this guy has read about us, this guy is serious about this place. So just do the homework.
So what you're saying is, once you have the interview, you should do your own due diligence and research rather than bugging the residents after you have received the interview.
Yeah, I never did it. I didn't reach out to anyone because I think so they have the interview for a reason. They will get to know you then. You don't have to reach out to them before that. I know
Okay.
people tell me that reach out, just talk to the resident, but I don't think so. That's a good idea. I don't think so.
Yeah. And in terms of the top 2, 3 questions that you frequently encountered, what were these programs wanting to know? What were the top 2, 3 questions?
So for me, I think so they don't want to know how intelligent you are or what, like how good of a doctor you are. They know that they'll train you well enough. That's not. They will ask, they want to know you. Like, what kind of a person are you? Like, what is your understanding? What's your mentality basically? So mostly they asked me, first of all, the basic question, like, tell me about yourself, tell me about your journey. That is something they want to know. Don't have it like a, memorized answer. It has to be very candid. It has to be very real. It shouldn't sound fake or something which you've prepared way in advance. Then they would like to know, what are your strengths? Like, what do you bring to the program? Because, it's like a marriage. You bring something, they bring something, and you have to make something beautiful out of it. So they're going to ask you, what are your strengths? That is something which was very commonly asked to me. Then they even asked you, what is something which you're weak at? We all have weaknesses, like something you're weak at or something you've been working on yourself. Like, I was not very good in public speaking, so I was trying to work on that. So that's what I told at many interviews, that, I'm trying to work on my public speaking. I kind of used to get nervous in the past. I could never do this, the online thing. Now I'm able to, I can't even stop
Right.
talking. So yeah, so they want to know that, like, what are your weaknesses? And don't give them the weaknesses. Just don't give them that. Tell them what it is, and then tell them what you are doing to improve on them. Like, if I say I'm bad in public speaking, that's not good. Okay, what are you doing up for that? So they want to see, okay, he is not good in something, but he's trying to improve in that. So that was something they asked me. They all will ask you, like, why our institute, why our program? And you can't just say, oh, it's a very good program, this and that. No, you need to give them something specific. So that was something they asked me a lot. And yeah, whatever you write in your hobbies, I would say write the truth, because they do talk on that. I didn't write anything. I'm a very boring person. I just wrote, I love to watch YouTube videos, I love to watch shows, and I love to teach. So one of the attendings who was taking my interview told me that you love to teach. I'm like, yeah. So she told me, okay, teach me something non-medical. I don't want to learn medicine. I'm like, okay. And then I thought about cricket, like what cricket is and everything. So yeah, so be ready to talk on your hobbies and everything else. And you don't need to show yourself that you're very interesting, you have good hobbies and all that. It's good if you have it, it's good. I didn't have it, but you don't need to lie about things. It's fine. So yeah, these are the questions that they asked me in most of my interviews.
Yeah. One last question for you, because I can see that in the chat. What about signaled programs? So, there were signals for you also. Did you follow up with a letter of interest, or how did you deal with the signaled programs?
So I think so. I didn't send any letter of interest because I think so. That was something in the past, but I feel that's what the signals are for now. If you are interested in a program, send them a signal.
Hmm.
Because if there's a program, I've not signaled them and I send them a letter of interest. I would love to do my residency in your program. I would love it. This. I have a lot of love for you. They'll be like, I'm not feeling the love because if there was love, you would just send me a signal. So I think so. Letter of interest doesn't make that much sense now. Maybe if you've signaled some places and you don't receive an interview, maybe in December you can send an email saying that uh, I have I have signaled your program. I really am interested in this program. I would love to get an interview. Maybe then. I didn't do it, but yeah. And I think so. The signals are already done, so you can't change the signals now, right? It's already done.
Right, right.
But for someone who's not applied, I would just say one thing. I made a mistake. I overshooted with my signals. So I feel signals are for something, if you already have a foot in the door, signals are to make sure you get past that door. So don't signal like Ivy Leagues. If you have the credentials, of course, do that. I did signal one of the Ivy Leagues. I did get an interview, but I don't think so. It helps. So I would say signal to those places where you already have a good shot and to improve your chance. Don't signal places which are way above, like I'm not putting in a bad way, which are way above your credentials. You know you're not going to get in. So don't waste your signals. Those are like the currency you have in this game.
So what you're saying is be realistic.
Be very realistic. I did overshoot in some of the signals, but I did receive interviews from my signals. I did. So it was a good conversion rate for me, but I know people who didn't receive from their signals. So be realistic. I would say signal the places where you're already going to match without the signal because you need that one yes. I applied to many places and I said, if you apply 100 places, I don't care about the 99 no's. I just need that one yes. So be very smart about the signals. I think so. That is the game changer now. Signals. I
All
know
right, well, sorry, go.
I know one of my friend. He's from Albania. He was telling me, Satyajit, if now I'll advise people that just apply to 15 places. He means to say just apply to your signals. I wouldn't say that. I would say apply broadly, but that's how important signals are now.
Well, thank you very much, Satyajit. Any last minute tips before we let you go?
So I would say just be yourself. I didn't know this interview season. Be kind to yourself. It's going to teach you a lot of things. It's going to teach you things about yourself which even you were not aware that you had in you. It's good. It's a nice process. Enjoy it. It's very stressful, but just take it one day at a time, one interview at a time. And one of my mentors, he had told me that you all are doctors, so you all are going to do good in life. Now it just depends when everyone's race is different, but we all will reach to the finish line. So just be kind to yourself, be confident, surround yourself with people who put you up. Don't be around people who put you down, who make you believe you can't do this, because it's this battle is all in the mind. If you win it here, you're going to win it in life. So just be kind to yourself, be positive, and just enjoy it. It's a good process. You will learn a lot about yourself, the world, and you will come up as a winner at the end.
Well, very, very motivating. Thank you very much, Satyajit. This is very impressive. I'm hoping that a lot of our audience get real motivation from your tips. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pawan, for having me here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. All right, let's move on, and I will answer other questions. But like he said, it's ironic. He said one of the questions was, "Teach me something non-medical." So, and I have received a lot of questions about our classes. So, if you can see my screen, we do cover all these questions here. So, if you go to our website and Sneha or Sakshi from my team probably can put this link also. So you will see we have 4 types of classes here, and you can click on each one of these sections and see what interview preparation we do. So there are about 70 to 80 questions, about 35 plus hours of live interactive classes. So, we discuss this question, teach me something non-medical, tell me something about yourself. So students are expected to prepare these answers, and then we go over it, we improve that, and help you prepare. So there are the interview sessions that you can take. There are mock interviews also here, right here, and if you click on the on the home page where it says residency interview prep, so the team is offering $100 off of the live interview preparation plan with us, along with a free mock interview. I think this is valid till 20th October. So with a special discount going on for the interactive plan. So it'll actually, cost you less, and you get a free mock. And then there are, if you are only looking for recorded on demand, then you go for the separate plan, which is on demand. But in on demand, you only get recorded version. So you cannot really practice in a group. And we all feel that practice really makes a lot of difference. So in the interactive, you can actually get the recorded version and join us live as well. So for example, I have a class today in about 2 hours for those of you interested. So that's about some of what you may learn in our classes. And one of the other things I wanted to highlight, because I know Arundhati is here, so there's match results. So you can also go to the match result page and see a profile of our students. So that is important. Some of them are old YOGs, recent, people matching with less interviews. I think this is important for all of you to see how students who have less interviews or low scores or gap, how did they structure their preparation, what all did they do. So all of this, if you click, you will, either go to their YouTube interviews or, their write-ups, and you can see that. So if you go on our match results page on the home page, that's where you will see that. So I will take a couple of questions, and then I'll bring in Dr. Sawant here. Okay, so Dr. Satyajit is answering the question, so that helps. Good. So, but I will also, if anything is missing, I will answer those. Let me bring in Dr. Arundhati Sawant. So, Arundhati, are you there?
Yes. Hi, good morning.
Can you
hear me?
Yes, but I cannot see your camera. So
Yeah, my camera is off.
let's see. Okay, try now.
Yeah, it's off.
Okay, that's fine. So why don't you introduce yourself, and then we'll go from there.
Sure. So good morning, everybody. My name is Arun Savan. I am doing internal medicine residency at the Baptist Memorial Hospital in Jackson, Mississippi. And I'm grateful to be here. Thank you, Pawan sir, for this opportunity, and happy to answer any questions that you all may have. And thank you for this opportunity.
So, Aru, let's start with the timeline kind of a question. How did you, in terms of waves, when all did you receive interviews? What was your understanding of how programs send out these interviews?
So, first of all, I would like to congratulate everybody for a successful submission of the ERAS application. That itself is a very big step, because it takes a lot of hard work to prepare that application. Waiting for the interview invites is difficult for everybody, as it was difficult for me. It depends on the programs. Now, some programs, they start sending out invitations as early as the first week of October. Now, I would like to say that once you submit the application, almost all the programs, they wait till they get the MSPE. Now, once the MSPE is released, they start looking at the applications, and then they start sending invites. So some of the programs, they start sending it as early as the first week of October, and majority of the programs, they send it in waves. So because they receive a large number of applications, and program directors and the program leadership, they are also involved in their clinical duties. So they have to take out time on weekends when they are not busy during their clinicals. They have to take out time to look at the applications. So they don't look at all the applications at the same time. They, as Pawan sir mentioned, they do apply some filters, but it's not universal. They do look at some criteria, research scores, or people from the same state or neighboring states, local people, and then they start sending out invites. For people who have the first wave goes on from October first week till, I would say, the first week of November, and those are the first wave of invites. Now, if you have received at least one or two invites by the first week of November, it's good that some programs are looking at your applications, but don't get disheartened, because this wait is difficult, but it is for everybody. Everybody is going through that. And then the programs, once they have some of the interview dates filled, or some cancellations, or some vacant dates, they start releasing more dates in November and in December. And the second wave starts like around the second week of November, and it goes on till before Christmas. So this is the main period where majority of the IMGs, they get the interviews, in my opinion. Now, in my personal journey, I did get a few invites in the first week of submission, which were neighboring states. And the state that I was living in, that was Alabama. And some of the other programs, I did get late invites, that was in December. And interestingly, one of the invite I got in February. So the journey isn't over until it's over. Like, you need just one interview. And I agree with Dr. Satyajit that everybody has their own race and their journey. Now, the second wave of interviews start from the second week of November. Now, what you have to do, if you have received some invites, that's fine. If you haven't received invites by, say, the end of October, I would encourage you to send letters of interest. Now, applicants, we don't need to think if they help or if they don't help. We have to do, in my opinion, we have to do everything that we can. It's not our job to think whether they help, whether they read it. It's up to them. But you do your effort to send out letters of interest to at least a few programs where you think you are interested in, where you think that your credentials match, and where you think that you have a chance of getting an interview, that they will like your application. So, because every person has different credentials, different strengths and weaknesses in their application, which we are well aware of. So, send letters of interest to people. Be genuine in your letters of interest. The other thing I would like to say is how you will get the invites. Now, this is very important. There are numerous ways that you can get invites. The first one is the email that you have registered through the ERAS. The second one is your phone number. The third, it could be through the thalamus and other ways. So basically, you just be vigilant. Keep refreshing your emails every half an hour or 1 hour throughout the day. Look at your phone. I know people who have received interviews via a phone call. So that can be a possibility. I personally received a text message from a program coordinator, and that was an interview invite. I mean, it was an unknown number, and I received an invite. If I didn't read that message, I would have missed that interview. So interview invites can come from any way. Now, once you get the interview invite, wherever you are, you may be in a clinical rotation, you may be in the clinic, you may be in a wedding, you may be sleeping or taking a bath or whatever. You just come out and excuse yourself, and then you schedule that interview as soon as possible. It may be through thalamus, it may be through some other means or platform that they are using. Just schedule the interview. If you get the confirmation of the date of your choice, what you have to do now is you have to email the PC or the PD that you thank them for the invite, and then you inform them about the date if you received it. If it's pending or on wait list, you can inform them about that, and then just be brief in two to three lines, and you can be done. Now, if you have received invites till November, that's fine. In the next wave goes on from the mid of November till the Christmas. And there is a little bit of a pause, of course, for the holidays during Thanksgiving and in Christmas. And then the last wave, or the third wave, I would say, go on from January on until the rank order list, or February, I would say. So don't be disheartened. Like, you just need one interview. And since you have submitted the application, do not leave any stone unturned. Just try everything. Like, don't bug them, of course, don't irritate them, but you can send one letter of interest. It wouldn't hurt you. So that is what I feel is the timeline of waves of getting the interviews.
Yeah. No, this was very, very comprehensive, Aru. So, in terms of your preparation, right? How did you prepare and how did you get ready for these interviews? Give us some insights about your strategy.
So for me, the lion's share of my preparation goes to USMLE Sarthi, undoubtedly. I mean, Pawan sir himself is a big motivator and has been a big motivator for me. Everybody on the team of Sarthi, including the chief mentor, the other mentors, and even Sneha, Aditi, Sheila, everybody has that positive motivation for you, to encourage you to keep going. And for the preparation, like the lectures that the USMLE Sarthi interview prep had were very, very vital, because they are such long lectures, and they cover everything that you may have in your mind. Every question, every aspect of the residency interview process that you may face or you may not face, they are covering it. So that I would say was the turning point of my interview preparation, because it gave me a perspective to think how they are thinking, not what you are thinking. It is totally very different, at least for me. And the choice of words, the speed of your talk, the questions that may have. So now some programs, we all know, have typical questions, but many of the programs, they go into atypical questions. So you have to be prepared for both of the aspects. And I feel that ample practice for an in-person interview as well as for a virtual interview is very, very important, including things like your appearance, your volume, your tone, the way you look into the camera, or where to look. Was a very, very big question for virtual interview, and that's where Sarthi played a very big role. And apart from that, I would say that practice with your friends, with your family, with yourself in the mirror, that also helps a lot. And the other thing I would like to say here is, the more you practice your interview skills, the better you do. Now, the first interviews, one or two interviews, will be scary, will be less than what you do in your subsequent interviews. But as you progress through the season, you will get that experience, and your interviewing skills will improve. So if you have some important interviews where you think that you have a real shot, I would suggest personally to schedule them in November, or take a date where you have experienced one or two interviews. Don't keep that as a first interview.
Well, thank you very much, Aru. Appreciate your time as always, and hopefully, you can get some time off. I know it's busy, but hopefully you're enjoying.
Yes, thank you so much, Pawan sir, for this opportunity, and I wish everybody all the best in their interview season.
Thank you. All right, let's move on. The next speaker, Dr. Komal Bhinder. Komal, are you there? Maybe she's stepped away. Dr. Chena Rajesh. Chena, are you there? Okay, yes, great. Thank you. Welcome. So, why don't you introduce yourself, and then we'll talk about the timeline. That's where a lot of questions are coming.
Okay, sure. Hi, everyone. I am Chetna. I am one of the PGY1s in pediatrics at the Brooklyn Hospital Center in New York.
So, Chetna, when it comes to the interview timeline, when did you receive interviews and how did you approach for more interviews? I think that's what a lot of questions are.
Yeah, so I think the initial wait period, especially between like submitting your application and getting that first interview invite, can be pretty stressful because you wonder why there's a lot of information online and you feel like interview invites are going out, but you're not getting them. I would say that a lot of programs and a lot of specialties do send out like an initial interview window within which they send the interview. As far as I remember, it was October 9th or October 10th for pediatrics last year after submission. So it's pretty interesting. Actually, before receiving my first interview invite, 4 hours before I received it, the first email I got was a rejection. So I was pretty I was pretty upset after that clearly, and I was like, I'm not going to get interviews. But like literally 2-3 hours after that, on October 10th itself, I was able to get my first interview. So I think the first thing is to think about and accept that there are windows to give programs the 15 to 20 days that they are asking for to in order to review the applications holistically and wait for the interviews. Subsequently, after that, I think I waited till October end. I got like one more interview, and I waited till October end, and then I started sending out letter of interest to programs that I was really interested in, and I did get like one of the interview invites after I sent a letter of interest. So, in my opinion, at least they do help. And the third one was like a major update. So I took my step 3 in the middle of interview season, so in November. So just after Thanksgiving holidays, I sent out my scores again, and towards like December end or January beginning, that's when I received the last set of interviews.
Okay. So you were pretty much spread all across, from
Exactly.
October. So, and, for some people who may think if I didn't get the interview by mid-November, I'm not going to get the interview. That's not exactly true. It just depends on how they go through the profiles.
Exactly. Because again, that's what I tell my friends who have all applied this year. I tell them that I got the last set of interviews in January. So interviews come all the way up till January. So there's like a long timeline within which interviews come. There is no reason to sort of be disheartened if you didn't get it in first wave. It is like it varies, it depends on your score, your profile, and your experience. So it's not right to like compare as well with others, like with your own peers. I don't think a comparison is fair. You just have to like track your application and do what you feel is best with respect to your application.
Okay. Let me take a couple of questions that probably you can answer that I'm seeing on the screen. How did you update the programs, if you did, about maybe your research or anything you did after September? How did you do that? How did you update the programs?
Yeah, so the major update again was step 3. So for interviews that I had already taken at that point, I had like direct emails to contact the program coordinator, the program director. So I just CC'd them onto an email, and I emailed them regarding like the update for that I had taken my step 3 and I had passed it once I got the score. So any updates that you have throughout the season, you can share them with the programs via email. I think once you apply, you do get like access to certain emails for the program coordinator, for the program director, or you get access to one of the administrative personnel emails where you can share updates. That being said, be sure that when you want to share an update, it has to be like a significant update. Don't just bother the programs for every trivial updates. And if you have like multiple updates that can happen within a couple of weeks, like a research is going to get published and then the week after that your step 3 score is going to come out, wait till your step 3 score comes out and give both the updates together, because you don't want this to become like a spamming game with the program. So just consolidate your updates and write one email at a time.
That's a very good suggestion. Otherwise you're right. I mean, students tend to spam the programs. Okay, I know you applied on time, but did you get a feeling that late applications from maybe your friends and others you may know, late applications are applying now, which is maybe about 20 days into the season. Did it help anyone? Are you aware otherwise?
I think, I mean, again, this is relative of how late you apply. I think if you're like around a couple of days to 7 days late, you might just be within the window of programs downloading applications, because some programs do wait for like a week to 10 days before downloading the applications. But if you're applying now, you just have to, there's nothing wrong with that if you've applied with like a complete application, but you have to realize that the initial interview wave has started to come in and the initial invites have started to come in. So you basically missed that wave, so you have to now wait for probably the mid-November wave to get like interviews. So you would, if you applied late, then the timeline changes for you. You will get interview invites later.
Yeah, yeah. Well, any other tips, Chetna, on how they should prepare for the interviews or anything else that can help them this late in the season?
Yeah, so I would say don't keep waiting for that first interview invite in case you haven't gotten it yet. You have applied, you have put so much hard work into your application. So go through your CV, go through your personal statement, think about the potential questions that you can be asked during interviews and work on them. You can. Common questions are available on the AAMC website, and so just go through them, prepare your answers. Because when you get an interview, you don't know how much time you will have. You might get an interview invite today, and your interview might be in 2 days. So you still want to keep preparing and keep working on your letter of interests as well. I would still say that wait till October end to send them out, but you can start working on them meanwhile and keep preparing for interviews. And again, for me as well, I had like 3 interview invites, I think, by mid-November. So I wanted to maximize what I could get out of those interviews. So I did take up like Sarthi's help, and I'm really grateful because the extensive lectures and the access to like the database with the questions really helped me a lot with my interviews. So, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Chetna. Much appreciate your time, and hopefully you are enjoying your residency.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, let's move on. I will answer the questions that I'm seeing on the screen, but just to be very, very sensitive to the time of my panel, my next speaker is Komal Bhinder. Komal, are you there now? Or?
Hi.
Oh, okay. I was wondering, but thank you for your time. So why don't you introduce yourself, and then we'll talk about timelines and some of your tips.
Hi everyone, I am Dr. Komal. I matched at Kavaya Health Psychiatry Residency. To build upon my history, I am a 2020 graduate and I matched in this cycle, last cycle now. And feel free to ask me any questions or reach out to me if you have any questions in future as well.
So Komal, let's, given the topic of the webinar, interview timeline, what was your experience in this timelines? How do you, I guess, motivate the applicants who may be nervous, I'm not getting any interviews? So let's first talk about the timeline.
Yes. So for myself personally, I received my first batch of interviews during October mid. So it was during second and third week of October. And that is when most of the visa requiring IMGs or IMGs in general receive interviews. Because they send interviews, as Dr. Chetna and Dr. Aru mentioned, in like batches. But October and November are the peak times for IMGs to receive interview, and that was the time when I received mine as well. And I know you start. I would wake up every morning looking at my email, staring at my screen, and I was so paranoid. I'm not having an interview, but don't worry, they will come, and you should not lose hope. And even personally, the program I matched, I received interview in January, and it was because they just had a opening of one slot. So the key here is consistency. Don't lose hope. Keep on reaching out to people, even if they, unless and until they are just saying you plain no, even if they are taking a giving you a diplomatic answer that we might consider, maybe just do your efforts.
So that was interesting because there are a lot of questions about does that when you receive the interview matter? And I think your example is very, very clear. It does not matter. You matched in a program when you received the interview in January. So October versus January should not matter.
Mhm. And I know so many of other people who receive these last minute interviews, even why are we thinking that interviews in January are not that fruitful or something? Because you have more experience, you can present yourself in a better way. You know what to say, what not to say. You have done a self, because honestly, every time we give an interview, we always sit and think what we said right, what we said wrong. And I think by January, you have so much personal experience as well. And even people match in soap. I know so many of my friends who did not get any interview ended up matching in soap, even in like good programs. So why are we thinking that January is too late for an interview?
Yeah, yeah. So, what are your tips for students at this point, say middle of October? Maybe they have less interviews, maybe they have no interviews. Should they be doing?
Well, my number one tip for anyone always is take care of yourself. Don't burn yourself out because you are just starting. Because application takes so much out of you. You spend, especially when we are in other countries, we spend so much time staying awake because time does not match. And we forget to eat, take care of yourself. So number one priority should always be your health, because you can always perform better when you're in good space of mind and physically well. Second thing, coming to more towards our match tips. So that is reach out to people. Anyone you know knows someone. You have to like stop caring that, of course, don't irritate them, but you have to stop caring what others will think and if they will be comfortable. I mean, they can always say no if they don't want to help you, but your thing here is to try. So even if you know a resident, look them up. If you know someone in the program that is from your country or area, look them up. See if you have a mutual connection. Try to reach them out. And that is what I did personally. I would just find people in the program, because residents are someone, now being in a residency program, I believe that residents are someone who can vouch for you from inside the program. And if someone knows you, and that gives you an upper hand, so definitely try reaching out, email the programs, and that's what you should be doing right now, and not to lose hope. Yeah, I was just talking about building connections, reaching out to people, finding the mutual connections, and doing your. It's going to be just emails and messages at this point. Try to get
Yeah.
interview, and something that would happen once you receive interview is do mocks. Do mocks with your friends. No one is no one's competition. Keep your answers unique. Your story is your own. So try doing mock with your friends, your colleagues, and even there are, I think, groups for mock interviews. Help each other out, because helping others would also give you a little bit of more confidence and help you reframe your own answers as well.
Yes, 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 absolutely. Uh, all right. Any other tip before you go? How was the experience as a visa seeking IMD? I mean, that's the other question we get a lot. I'm a visa seeking applicant, and obviously, there are more stress if you are seeking visa. But how was your experience?
Yes. So I had same amount of stress seeking a visa, and most of the programs at this point are a little bit scared as well due to the ban we faced earlier this year for the visa. But these things are all just temporary. I think you should not be. The goal is to be securing an interview and then a spot at this point, and then we can worry about the visa. I mean, we do get stressed out that we are visa seeking, but trust me, once you are here, it would not matter unless it is just like a paperwork thing, and no one would even be bothered that what visa you are in. You would be just another
Okay.
resident. So the goal should be to uh, so you should take a stepwise approach. I believe that you should, number one, focusing on getting interviews, and number two is that you should be focusing on working on your interviews, refining your answers, and once we have a spot secured, then we should worry about how we should make our visa application strong, and how do we like work on our visa.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Komal. Much appreciate your time as always. So, and hopefully, residency is not that stressful.
No, trust me, everyone, it would be worth it once you're here. You will feel that good, positive thing that, yeah, you made it. So that is what should be keep like motivate you to keep going. And thank you for having me. It's always nice talking to you. And I'm glad I can share my experience here with everyone.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Komal. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. Have a good Sunday, everyone.
Thank you. All right, let's now go to Dr. Aisha, who just joined us. So, Aisha, are you there?
Yes. Hi, good morning. How are you?
How are you, Aisha?
I'm good. Just enjoying the Sunday morning.
So the focus of today's webinar is all about, interview timeline. When should you be worried, and what can you all do as you wait? So, why don't you introduce yourself first, and then talk to us about what your experience was with the timeline of when you received the interviews?
Yeah, sure. So, hello everyone. This is Dr. Aisha. I am presently an internal medicine resident at University of Tennessee Health Science Center in Memphis, and currently just done with my fourth month of residency. So, 1/3 there. And talking about the interviews and its timeline. For me, I did get a very good start and had my first interview in October first week, but that was because of the reason I did a rotation there and I gold signaled that program. So there's a lot of factors which contributes to getting an interview. So if you're like already know work there, or you have like signaled the program, so you might get interview early. But later on, my interviews were more in the month of like November and December. People do say like at the end of December, especially during Christmas and the New Year, you don't get a lot of interviews, which is true, like the last 2 weeks. But at least the first 2 weeks of December, I was really blessed with quite a lot of interviews. So it was a very good. A lot of interviews were flowing in that part as well. So it all depends. Like for my program, we are still reviewing the application. So there's a lot of process. We do get a lot of application, and reviewing them is a lot of juggle for all the program coordinators. So there is like reviewing the application. There are also recommendations, and there are a lot of right now. What I know, there's a lot of meetings going on to select the candidates. So there's a lot of hustle, and I've also read about Reddit that people are getting so many interviews for now, and everything is flowing. I guess it's very subjective and individualized to each person. If somebody has worked there or has a really strong connection, or they know the people there, they might get interviews early, which is pretty fair. But as I said, that every application is reviewed. They are also looking for a for good candidates. And we had a meeting a month ago with our program director, and I really love the fact that she said that we are looking for good candidates. So if you like want to suggest someone, so it's a double-edged knife. If you are looking for good programs, they're also looking for you. So just be patient, and hopefully the interview will start flowing for every one of you.
Yeah. And how did you prepare once you got the interview? Because, the first one you got quite early. So what was your preparation strategy?
So I remember when I got my first interview, the first person I told was Mr. Pawan, that I texted you that I got my interview. And I was so anxious because I remember we submitted our application on September 25th. And in the first October, I was going for chest conference and I received an interview. So I went through all USMLE Sarthi videos for interview preparation, like diligently, each and every video, made notes, and also set up my first mock interview because my interviews was pretty early, and I also didn't get an opportunity for selecting my dates. They told me that this is the date you'll give your interview. So be aware, not every time you will have like lot of options. They might tell you that you need to give interview at that particular date, and obviously you cannot refuse it. So I went through all the videos, did my first mock interview with Sarthi, and that really helped me out because many a times, especially I feel like when I was interviewing back at that time, I used to speak really fast. So when I had a mock interview, they told me like how to go about it, how made me practice every single questions. What are the common questions which are asked? So that really helped me out. So yeah.
Okay. And in terms of following up with the program, so whether it was letter of interest or otherwise, what was your strategy?
So after submitting my application and receiving my first interview, it felt really amazing. But I also had some weeks which I didn't receive any single interview, and it did stress me out a bit. So rather than stressing about not receiving an interviews, I feel like when you start emailing all the programs, I did get 2 interviews from people say that emails don't work. It worked out well for me. I emailed like hundreds of programs and I received 2 interviews from there because they did love my profile. So, and it's a win situation. If you're getting 2 interviews, that's amazing. So I did research about the program, start emailing diligently rather than wasting your time to stress about something. I feel like you should do something about it. So letter of intent I feel is pretty important. Many a times they are reviewing so many applications that it just becomes very difficult to like focus on each and every application. So that helped a lot. And also like talking to people and like trying to understand. There were also many new programs which were launched at the middle of the season, and they also ask you to send your application. So also focus on that. Many like some of the program got accreditation in the middle of the season. So they will ask you to send your application and they will review the first 100 or first 200 applications. There's something like that going on. So I did all of that to secure as many as interviews as possible.
Okay. And the other common question we get during this time of the season is about the signaled program. So did you have a different strategy for the programs you signaled, or how did it work out?
So for the signaling, especially for my gold signal, they are very important. There's no doubt about it. Once you gold signal your program, they know you're sincere about it. You're basically giving your 33% chances to them. So gold signal, I feel like you should signal a program if you're like really sure that they will interview you. Gold signals are very important. Even our programs, most of the programs interview people with gold signal first. They go through your application really fast. So gold signals are very important. And I did get 1 to 2 interviews out of my signals as well, because I kept on emailing them, and those were from new programs. But with my experience and experience from most of my friends, I guess everybody in our season got interviews in their signals. So I feel signals are very important. It shows your interest, and they also want to make sure that you choose their program. So yeah, I feel they're very important.
Okay. Any other tips that you think we missed? Anything else you want to, motivate the current applicants with?
I mean, I think be patient, do whatever you can do, but don't stress much about it, because I have like my juniors calling me about. I mean, I feel I understand it's a very stressful process and it's a long and tiring process. And this is the main thing. You did whatever you wanted to, everything is done, but now you need to interview. This is the time you need to show your personality. That's the only barrier left. They must like you. They must feel like, oh, this is a person we will be able to work for 3 years. Because like for me, my program director knows everything about me. The first day I worked with her, she was like, oh, you love this and that. So they believe you, they completely believe you. And we had a good conversation about cooking and stuff, and they're really interested to work with you. So show your personality, work, be very happy, excited, and to join their program. And also do a diligent research about the program, every single aspect, so they know that you're interested and you're doing your work. That is also something which is very important. And yeah, just be patient. Hopefully everybody get a lot of interviews and everybody match.
Well, thank you very much again, Aisha. Much appreciate your time. Again, I know how busy you guys are in your residency, but it's fascinating that you can take time out to help others. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
All right. So now let me take some other questions that I see, and I apologize if you may have to type it again because I lost the connection for a minute. I had to restart. So I can take the questions as you type, but I do want to share something important, which was around, the interview insights. I think one of my speakers spoke about it. So let me also, in addition to these classes that you see and the mock interviews on the screen, the other important thing that you will have access to is our interview insights database. So for example, this is my account, dummy account. So if you are our student and if you report the interview, so like here, let's say you got these 5 interviews, you can access the information about the program questions. So over the years, we have, students interview at all the programs. So for example, this is the Akron General, and we have about 20 students, as you can see, who told us about their experiences. So in terms of, what was the interview type, what was the day, how many interviews, specific questions. So this is important, specific questions that the program asks. So that helps you prepare for the interview, so whether it's tell me about yourself or other things. So we have this database for all the programs, obviously not the new programs, but all the programs that our students have interviewed at. So, let's say any program you go in, you can see how they're asking the questions and what type of questions they are asking. So that our students find it very, very useful as they prepare for it. Again, there are 2 types: the interactive, which is live, about 35 hours of classes. They are also recorded, so you can watch the recording. It's $100 off at this point and a free mock. So otherwise, mock interviews are separate, but interactive, if you really want to practice, I'd recommend that. If you don't have time, then the on-demand, which is only the recorded version. And the classes are here on our website as well, so you can click on it. And for example, if you go to advanced interview prep, you will see the type of questions, 12 classes in advanced interview prep. What are the questions we cover? So you can take a look at that. And with that, let me come back and answer the questions you have. Do you have mock interviews with the residents attending of specific programs where we received an interview? So First, we don't know where you received the interview, so very hard to say. We do have obviously mock interviews with some program directors and residents and attendings on our panel, but it's very hard to say where you received the interview, whether we have panelists from that interview. What else can I answer? So let me how many interviews to feel safe? So this is a common question. Obviously, there are two ways to looking at it. If you are well prepared, only one interview is that matters. But I'll be very, very honest with you. There are students who don't match with 7 to 10 interviews also. So there is no such thing as safe. But if you do want to look at the NRMP data, they will give you some probability. But I think probability is just a number. It boils down to your preparation. In the end, is all about your preparation and how committed you are to that specialty, how you can personalize those responses. And some of it is maybe luck, you connected well with the interviewer that day. Maybe your research aligned with the interviewer's research. So some of that component you don't control, but others you really have to control. So like I said, generally after our training, I would say 3 interviews is a safe zone and you should be able to match with 3. All right, what else can I answer? When do older graduates receive interviews? Do they only get interviews in the second wave? Now, that's not correct. Typically, yes, you would see older graduates in the second wave, but like one of our speakers said, if you've already rotated at a program, even if you're an older graduate, if they know you, you may receive an early interview. How many hours of classes are there in the interactive program? So it's about 35 hours. Plus, there are other classes also. So how do you make a rank order list? How do you, reach out to the program, so on and so forth. All classes are repeated. So for example, today I'm starting the round 3 of the interview preparation. So we did one round in September, October, and then behavioral questions have been done, medical questions classes. So these classes tend to get repeated as well. So if it doesn't mean you've missed anything, you can, we are starting again. Okay, let me see what other questions do you have. I have contacts in 3 programs that I signal, but those programs are a bit above my credentials. So did I waste my signal? So I won't say you wasted your signal. Of course, you've already signaled. So now, rather than worrying about wasting the signal, you got to really prepare. And, programs are aware that you signal them. So they find it very useful. You probably will get an interview from them. And then I think it all depends on the other type of applicants that signal that program and how your preparation is, how you can commit or how you can convey the commitment to that program and to the specialty. Does family medicine follow a similar trend of interview invites described by the speaker? So I think yes, IM, FM, psych, even neurology, pathology, they follow a similar style of the waves. In fact, most specialties follow waves. Now, of course, there are specialties like OBGYN and all who universally will say we will start sending the interview invite on this day. But typically, the waves are common across specialty. Do we send letter of interest with our ERAS CV, usual CV, or non-ERAS CV, or no CV? So it's always a good idea to send your ERAS CV because that's what they are used to in the season. If you want to send it, and of course your AMC ID. So Sneha is posting, the contact information. If you are interested, get in touch. And like I said, we are offering discounts on the interview preparation with a mock interview as well. So, there's quite a bit of material you get along with a free mock if you are interested. I have scheduled an interview in late January. I love the program, but I want to be prepared. Will it sound like I'm uninterested? No. Like many of our speakers have said, interviewing in January or November, or even receiving the interview late or early will not impact your match chances. However, this is where I want to clarify about pre-match programs. So pre-match programs are the programs that do not go into the NRMP match. They take applications through IRAS, but they give you offers and they accept applicants on a rolling basis. So what does that mean? It means pre-match interview, if you interviewed with a program tomorrow, let's say 13th of October, you could actually get an offer to join them and commit to them the next day, right? So then you have to withdraw from the NRMP match. Why is this important? If you have a pre-match interview, then taking the interview early really helps, because they keep filling their spots. So pre-match is an exception. You have to schedule the interview as early as possible. Should we email coordinators and directors for the programs that we like? I've heard that it can annoy the program director. So again, they are also human, and each program director takes it very differently. I think one, program coordinators you can always send. Two, if it's a signal program, and they all know it's a limited signal, so I think you can definitely send it to the program director. Three, if you have done rotations at the program, I think it's a fair game. How do I know if the program is a pre-match program? So if a program does not have NRMP ID, that's most likely a pre-match program. I think we also have a list that is available on our website. There's a blog, so we can send a blog later on. Okay, I think that was all for today. Thank you everyone for joining. Again, if you are interested in our match plans or in the interactive interview prep, send us an email, or Sneha has already been posting links. So take a look at those. Let us know if you're interested, and we will be in touch. And good luck to all of you who are going into the match this season.
Thank you so much for watching. We hope that video provided valuable insights for your journey. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And check out our website for details on how we can guide you to a successful match.